Live from Studio 7E in Rockefeller Center, this is Today in New York.
Scene of two brush fires.
Investigating the police reported calls this morning for a federal probe into the Newark Police Department. And sharing the memories of 9/11, local communities get pieces from the World Trade Center for their own tributes to the victims. Good morning, everybody. 5 a.m. right now on this Thursday, September 9th. I'm Michael Gargiulo.
I'm Darlene Rodriguez. Going to check in right now on Chris as the weather for us this morning. A little cooler today.
Yeah, things have been knocking down temperature-wise the last several hours into the 50s and low 60s across all of the tri-state. In fact, in town right now, we have slipped down to 63 degrees, 59 up in Middletown, 61 at Sussex. Skies are clear. We start out bright and sunny. We'll build up a few fair weather clouds in the afternoon, almost an autumn sky, if you will. A cool breeze and a high temperature of 73. A little more invigorating weather coming our way next few days.
Oh, there you go. Megan, it's invigorating out there.
Invigorating. That's exciting. I'm awake already. Let's take a look at the LIE. It's been a pretty quiet commute so far this morning. Had one issue on the Cross Bronx that cleared. This is out past Lakeville Road, westbound and eastbound. Not too bad out there yet this morning. Not a lot of volume. So keep you posted on that. We'll check out some of the bridges and tunnels. That's coming up on the force.
All right, Megan, thank you. A tense battle against brush fires on Staten Island has calmed down this morning, but firefighters are still on the scene to make sure things don't flare up again. The hours-long effort for fire crews began when flames erupted in two spots yesterday afternoon. One in Arden Heights, the other in Great Kills Park. Glenn Zimmerman's live in Oakwood with the latest. Glenn, good morning.
Good morning, Darlene. Good morning, everyone. We are just outside of Great Kills Park. We are ironically right by Fire Road. The fire officials are inside the park a little bit more, making sure that nothing does pop back up because, of course, they were dealing with some very dry, some very windy, and some very hot conditions, which definitely made it that much harder for firefighters to fight these blazes. In fact, firefighters admit they are not used to dealing with brush fires, much more urban fires as their normal standout, but this is definitely a challenge for them. It took them nearly 8 hours to keep it under control. Went to 6 alarms. There were 2 injuries reported at the larger fire here at Great Kills, one firefighter and a civilian, both minor injuries. Fortunately, there were no evacuations, but it did threaten the nearby Oakwood neighborhood.
The smoke started moving toward us and toward the water very quickly. Like within an hour, it was behind us. And it was black with flames up to probably second story in our house.
There was another brush fire, as Darlene was mentioning, that affected a nearby Arden Heights neighborhood. Now that fire was not quite as large, also no major injuries reported, just one person, but what it did between these two fires, it depleted resources for the fire department enough that they had to actually pull from all 5 boroughs to deal with the fires here. We're talking about hundreds of firefighters out here. Based upon reports, firefighters are saying this is just another reason why you shouldn't be shutting down any fire stations here on the island. At this point, we can still smell some smoke in the air, but we understand that all fires are out. We are live here just outside of Great Kills Park. I'm Glenn Zimmerman. Back to you guys in the studio.
Glenn, thank you very much. Meanwhile, I want to show you the scene in Colorado. Fire crews there continuing to battle a devastating wildfire near Boulder. It's destroyed nearly 6,200 acres. Fires ripped apart over 130 homes. It forced the evacuation of 3,500 people. Firefighters have that blaze 10% contained at this point. Meanwhile, some of the evacuees will be able to return to their homes later on today. No deaths or serious injuries have been reported, but there are still as many as 4 people who are unaccounted for at this point.
The ACLU of New Jersey is calling for the federal government to investigate the Newark Police Department. The group plans to file a petition today citing hundreds of claims of misconduct that have left the city residents distrustful of the police. But a city spokesman calls the petition frivolous. She says it focuses on lawsuits that date back to before current Mayor Cory Booker took office.
The imam behind the proposed mosque near Ground Zero went on national television to make his case. He said plans for the Islamic Center known as Park 51 must go forward, calling the situation a matter of national security. Tracy Strahan is live in Lower Manhattan with more. Tracy.
Well, Michael, in that interview, the imam said he is open to compromise, but that no acceptable middle ground option has been presented when it comes to having the mosque here on Park Place, and that moving it could actually fuel violence.
Imam Faisal Abdul Rauf says the proposed Islamic Center near Ground Zero has been a vision of his for decades. But breaking his silence on CNN's Larry King Live, claimed if he knew the furor that would arise over the plan, he may not have proposed it.
If I knew that this would happen, this would cause this kind of pain, I wouldn't have done it. My life has been devoted to peacemaking.
Yet he echoed remarks made in an editorial written for Wednesday's New York Times, saying plans for the Cordoba House project will move forward, claiming that withdrawing would only pose a security risk.
If we moved from that location, the story will be that the radicals have taken over the discourse. The headlines in the Muslim world will be that Islam is under attack.
And that sentiment may already be growing. An FBI bulletin put out last month claimed that Muslim extremists are likely to retaliate against the International Burn a Quran Day planned by a Florida church on September 11th. It's already sparked protests abroad like this one in Jakarta, Indonesia. Yet it's also warranted condemnation from leaders here in the U.S.
Our commitment to religious tolerance goes back to the very beginning of our nation.
Meanwhile, one of the financial backers of this project may not be as attached to it as previously thought. That investor who lives out on Long Island says for the right price, he'd be willing to get rid of it for between $18 and $20 million. Guys, back to you in the studio.
All right, Tracy, thank you. 5:04 right now. Time for weather and traffic on the 4th, starting with you, Chris, on a Thursday morning.
Yeah, it's cooled down quite a bit. Pretty comfortable out there this morning. Some of the suburbs may need a light jacket early on. Temperatures are in the upper 50s, low 60s in the city. We'll see sun and then some clouds build up today. Not the type of cloud cover that will produce any rain. It's going to stay rain-free through at least Saturday. Looks like the latter half of the weekend, Sunday, that could be a little soggy with some shower activity moving in. So your weekend plans, I'd shift them towards Saturday, if they're shiftable, that is. Sunday looks to be a little bit wet, especially in the afternoon. 63 in the city right now, low 60s Newark, mid-50s from Monticello to Mount Pocono, where it's down to 53, actually. 59 in Middletown, 59 now out on the East End in West Hampton, and 59 in Belmar. So we'll probably lose another couple of degrees early on this morning before sunrise. We've got clear sky out there right now. Some patchy cloud cover will build up in the afternoon, as I said, but those big puffy cumulus fair weather clouds, decorator clouds, they don't produce much. They just look nice. And a high temperature gets back to the low 70s this afternoon. So gone for a while, or the 80s and certainly the 90s, that's for sure.
Well, it's a good thing we have those decorator clouds here in time for
just in time for fashion.
Fashion week here, Megan.
I'm all over it. It's right in my hood. I already see the stilettos clipping around. Saw quite an outfit yesterday. I was like, where is she going in that? All right. Let's take a look at the, I was jealous, the Cross Island Parkway out by the Bayside Marina. If you were traveling northbound or southbound, still not a lot of volume out there. Still waiting to see the real traffic crush as people return from vacation this week. Still not terrible, though. RFK moving on all three legs for you this morning. So you shouldn't have any issues. Upper East River crossings in general are looking good. And here's the Lincoln Tunnel. No construction holding you back inbound through the toll plaza here. Outbound's also in good shape. And we saw that George had a little construction outbound, but that hasn't been an issue either. So Hudson's in good shape. And if you're looking for parking today, you get a break. Alternate side is suspended for religious observances, but hang on to the quarters. You got to feed the meters. And that's the scoop.
We could send you out with a camera and you got to kind of sit there and analyze. That'd be fun.
As I sit there in my maternity wear and they march by in their little mini dresses.
Stop it. No.
And I throw things.
Don't be angry.
Therapy session later. All right. It's 5:06. Moving on to the news. New York City kids had their first day of school with almost a quarter of the kids not showing up. Students came back for one day and have today and tomorrow off for Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. They return back to class on Monday. The city education department reports attendance at 77%, down from 84% for their first day of school last year.
I think it's ridiculous to go back to school for one day. I think it's discombobulating with everybody's schedule.
We're on vacation and then to rush back for one day is kind of silly. I mean, summer's short enough.
The Department of Education and the Teachers Union couldn't come to an agreement on a different teacher development day for the single day of school. The union says it's valuable to have that day in spring.
The family of the student found murdered at Yale University says they may sue the school. The Long Island relatives of Annie Lay question whether officials responded quickly enough after Lay went missing. They also want to know if Yale properly checked the backgrounds of Lay's co-worker and suspected killer Raymond Clark. Yesterday marked 1 year since Annie Lay disappeared. Detectives later found her body on the day she was supposed to get married. Clark has pleaded not guilty.
Another wake will be held tonight for one of the two men who died in a manhole accident in Tarrytown. More than 100 people gathered last night to pay their respects to Department of Public Works employee Anthony Ruggiero. Ruggiero died after apparently being overcome by fumes Monday night. John Kelly, the volunteer firefighter who attempted to rescue him, also died. Officials are expected to release more information about their investigation into the accident later this morning.
A New Jersey community is among the first to receive a piece of the World Trade Center for its own 9/11 memorial, and towns across the nation will get bits of steel, and they include a dozen in the Garden State. Brian Thompson reports from Monroe Township.
It was brought into this firehouse by an honor guard, treated with reverence.
This piece of steel will create a lasting memory in our community.
Monroe Township's District 3 Fire Department will keep this piece of World Trade Center steel for as long as the department exists. And 9/11 widow Wendy Feinberg Cotula shed her share of tears. Her husband, Alan, from Engine 54, one of the 343 FDNY firefighters to die.
I hope that people can come and touch and feel and remember that day when Alan and the 343 other firemen were in that building and gave the ultimate sacrifice.
Wendy lived in Marlboro 9 years ago, but since moving to Monroe has been adopted by this fire department, which even named a truck after her husband.
This is not, for us, just a piece of steel.
The Port Authority's Bill Baroni explaining the mission of giving away 1,000 of these relics to communities across the nation. And because it was part of a crime scene, each gift required the signature of a federal judge, according to Lieutenant Governor Kim Guadagno.
Never forget that this piece of steel was located at a crime scene.
Retired electrician Jerry Kaplan actually helped build the towers for several years.
It's something that will always touch my heart, of course. I was probably there when it was being installed.
For Wendy, the loss of her husband 9 years ago still hurts. You still miss him?
Oh, so much.
Brian Thompson, Today in New York.
And our live coverage of this Saturday's Remembrance Ceremony begins at 6 a.m. on Weekend Today in New York. At 8 a.m., we'll be live in Lower Manhattan as the families gather at the World Trade Center site for the ceremony. That starts at 8:40 a.m., and then you can watch the entire ceremony live on our website, NBCNewYork.com.
Still to come this morning, a new report on traffic fatalities in this country. Is the economy making roads safer?
Plus, the skies are clearing in Texas today, but not before some devastating storms. Several tornadoes and widespread flooding hit the Lone Star State. You're watching Today in New York.
Welcome back. Tropical storm Hermine may have left northern Texas, but is still wreaking havoc, even claiming the lives of 2 people. Now, the storm has left much of the region flooded with muddy waters. In separate instances, both a man and a woman were killed after being trapped in cars that were submerged in flood waters. The storm has also led to more than 100 high water rescues. The tropical storm Hermine also is responsible for a series of tornadoes that touched down in Dallas. There's amateur footage here of one of those funnel clouds. One of those tornadoes managed to flip over an 18-wheeler, sending it crashing into a building. The driver was taken to a local hospital, and there's no word on his condition.
5:14 right now, time for weather and traffic on the 4s. You know, Chris, I've been in places where there have been tornadoes, but I'm not used to the combo of the flood and the tornado at the same time.
Well, that was a tropical storm, and you have a lot of spin in the atmosphere, so when they come over land, they do often spawn tornadoes, and that was a clear example of it, and also a clear example of how it was a very intense storm, but look at the problems it can cause. Tropical storms can sometimes lead to more problems with flooding than anything else. All right, 63 clear right now. We're quiet in terms of tropical storm area for the next several days around here. We do have another one out there called Igor. We'll get to that a little later through the morning, but we have a west wind right now at 6, humidity 60%, the pressure falling again at 29.81, still fairly low. High pressure hasn't quite taken hold across the area. Low 60s from Newark through the city to Islip, upper 50s out in West Hampton. We've dropped to the upper 50s in Middletown and mid 50s in Monticello. Coolest spot, Mount Pocono, 53, and down the shore, we've dropped to the the 50s in Belmar, 59 degrees. Skies are clear for the most part here throughout the Northeast. There will be some fair weather clouds building up this afternoon and the little instability of the atmosphere. Here's what's left of Hermine, actually. Some shower activity working its way now eastern Oklahoma, northwest sections of Arkansas. There's a little frontal boundary across the north central plains. Neither one of these a big player in our weather anytime soon. However, as we work our way into Sunday, there should be a cold front approaching that may finally bring some much-needed rain around here. We have significantly cooled down, he tried to say. After 90 yesterday, we'll be in the low 70s for this afternoon. A cool night tonight, and then more of the same again tomorrow. Pretty much low 70s with a mix of clouds and sunshine. So a nice quiet finish to the work week. 73 in the city today, only 70 up in Greenwich, 72 out of Deer Park, and 60s for some highs, upper 60s to low 70s north and west of the city. Lows tonight, 59 in the city, 53 Lakewood, mid-50s out in Southampton, upper 40s to low 50s north and west of the city as the skies become mostly clear. We head into the weekend. Saturday looks good. High pressure still in charge. A little bit warmer, too. Should get into the mid and upper 70s in the afternoon with the west to southwesterly flow. Here comes the cold front on Sunday. Ahead of and along that front, there will be a few showers around, so maybe we get a little shot of rain in here on Sunday. Not great timing, but we got to take it when we can get it. 73 and 72 today and tomorrow. Quiet day. 77, nice start to the weekend. There's the shower threat Sunday at 74. Briefly gets a little warmer Monday ahead of the next cold front. Then we knock it back down low 70s Tuesday and only upper 60s for highs on Wednesday. So certainly, Megan, that looks more like an autumn forecast next 7 days.
It does. I like seeing all those 70s and the cool breeze. Love it. We'll take a look at the Gowanus right now. Still no accidents to report this morning, so that's good. Gowanus is the usual, though. A little sluggish inbound past the belt merge as you make your way through Industry City. Outbound moving a little bit better for you. On the BQE, things moving nicely. Some cars out there, but no backup. This is past the Brooklyn and Manhattan bridges. And over on the belt, this is out by JFK, still pretty quiet westbound as you make your way towards Lefferts Boulevard and eastbound, and no issues at Kennedy Airport this morning. There you have it. That's a check of the quiet roads.
All right, Megan, thank you very much. Your new report today expected to highlight a huge drop in the number of people dying on Americans' roads. Economy is among the things being credited for the change. Tracy Potts is live in Washington with more. Tracy, this may be the only positive impact of the recession.
Yeah, interestingly, there are fewer people working, so there are fewer people commuting and out on the roads, especially during rush hours when we often see a lot of accidents. As a result, the federal government, the Department of Transportation, says highway deaths are now down. Take a look at this. They're at their lowest level in 60 years, down 9.7% from last year, just over 33,000 highway deaths in the past year. The year before, in 2008, there were over 37,000. Couple of reasons why. People are using seat belts more, according to the government. There are fewer DUIs. In fact, there's been a big federal crackdown on that and distracted driving, things like texting and driving, which often cause accidents. Cars are safer, they say. We've now got side airbags and electronic stability control standard even in some cars. And then, of course, the recession, the fact that there are fewer people on the roads, although interestingly, people are driving more, but because there are fewer people on the roads, the number of deaths seem to be down. In addition to that, the number of injuries are now down for the 10th year in a row. DUI deaths are down, and motorcycle deaths, which had been going up for 11 years, are now down 16%. Live from the Capitol, I'm Tracy Potts. Today in New York. Darlene, back to you.
Tracy, thank you very much. Well, the Jersey Shore's Snooki got quite the reprimand when she appeared in a Seaside Heights courtroom yesterday.
You seem to be acting like a Lindsay Lohan wannabe in this matter. Only you can determine if it's worth trading your dignity for a paycheck.
Snooki was arrested in July for creating a public nuisance, disorderly conduct, and annoying beachgoers. Apparently that's a charge. The pie-sized reality star pleaded guilty to disturbing the quiet. The other charges were dismissed. The court gave her community service and a $500 fine. Snooki also apologized and denied that her antics were scripted. She got a real tongue lashing, as we said, from the judge, didn't she?
But as you said, it seemed like totally in line with her personality.
I don't know why anyone would think any of that is really scripted. I mean, some stuff may be encouraged, but
not scripted.
I don't know.
Let's do it in sports. Are you ready for some football finally?
Oh, yeah. The 2010 season kicks off in the city of the Super Bowl champs, and the party's getting started early. You're watching Today in New York.
Well, it's not an official holiday in New Orleans, but it might as well be. City Hall closed. The schools are shutting down early. That's because the NFL is kicking off another season tonight in New Orleans, right here on NBC.
That's right. The Super Bowl champion Saints will host the Minnesota Vikings in a rematch of last year's NFC title game. Celebrations and a concert will headline the pregame festivities. Mark Barger has a preview.
I don't think I'm very good at football. I think I've established.
But Taylor Swift can sing, and she is part of the festivities leading up to tonight's NFL kickoff. She'll take the stage in New Orleans along with Dave Matthews for a televised pregame concert. A parade will also wind its way through the Big Easy, continuing the celebration of the Saints' Super Bowl title.
We're trying to grab a little bit of that magic. Touchdown, New Orleans!
Same goes for the Saints. A banner ceremony commemorating their championship will push 43 mostly futile seasons into the shadows.
The sheer emotion of, watching that banner drop and knowing that, we were all a part of that, and that banner will hang forever, and we will all be linked together forever because of it.
The Saints also share a link with the Vikings, the team they beat in overtime to reach the Super Bowl.
I don't think you ever completely get over it.
Brett Favre put off retirement at least one more season to take another run at Super Bowl glory, starting tonight with the Saints rematch.
It's a new season, so you have to move on.
Inside the 5-yard line.
Mark Barger, NBC News.
And it's still baseball season. The Yanks avoiding the sweep, beating Baltimore 3-2. Mets beat the Nationals 3-2 as well, so they now have 2 in a row. Bona fide winning streak for them. Let's turn to tennis at the U.S. Open. Roger Federer taking on Robin Soderling. Coming into the match, Federer had 12 wins, 1 loss to Soderling at last year's French Open, and Federer beat Soderling in straight sets. Now the number 2 seeded and 5-time U.S. Open champ. He will face the number 3 seeded Novak Djokovic in Saturday's semifinals.
All right, it's 5:24. Checking out weather and traffic, starting with you, Chris, in the Weather Center.
Pretty good shape weather-wise this morning. Nice and quiet. Temperatures have cooled down a little bit to the 50s and low 60s most areas. 63 in the city, nice and comfortable. 62 in Newark. 55, the coolest spot in Monticello. We're seeing some upper 50s on the east end out in the Pine Barrens and down the Jersey Shore now. Belmar coming in at 59 degrees. Lots of sun early. Then the clouds will build up, just fair weather clouds this afternoon. A cool breeze, a high temperature 73, nice and comfortable. Partly cloudy to clear. A window opener tonight, 59 in the city. Maybe a window closer in some of the suburbs. Temperatures there down in the 40s. All right, at 5:25, Megan, it's early on. How's the commute shaping up so far?
Well, some problems that have popped up, so we'll get to them, starting with Route 3 out in Clifton. If you're traveling westbound right by Route 21, an accident there. This is the map of the LIE where there's an accident in Medford. Eastbound at exit 41, it's in the HOV lane, so look for that. Out on the Tappan Zee Bridge, though, you're okay. Crash-free. Just some traffic coming in on the Westchester side, but nothing to worry about. And outbound there towards Rockland County looks pretty quiet. So I'll keep you posted on those 2 new trouble spots. Back to you, two.
All right, Megan, thank you very much. We're live with today's top stories coming up next at 5:30.
The imam behind the proposed mosque near Ground Zero says moving it could pose a security risk. I'm Tracy Strahan, live in Lower Manhattan with more from his latest interview coming up.
And a former NYPD officer accepts responsibility for a deadly DWI crash and gets forgiveness from the victim's family.
We've got to have justice for everybody. We're a country of justice for all, not justice for non-Muslims.
The imam behind the controversial Ground Zero mosque comments on moving the Islamic Center.
Meanwhile, Ground Zero responders may get help paying medical bills after all. A second chance for the 9/11 health measure.
And rules to deal with pilot fatigue may finally be taking off. Good morning, everybody. Thursday now, September 9th at 5:30. I'm Michael Gargiulo.
I'm Darlene Rodriguez. Going to check it on the weather on this cooler Thursday morning. Starting to ease into fall, aren't we?
It feels like it this morning, that's for sure. Humidity still way down, temperatures down along with it. We've got a clear sky in and close to the city. Lots of sunshine to get us started today, then some clouds build up in the afternoon. It will become breezy once again. Low 60s now to some 50s in the suburbs, going to a high this afternoon of 73 degrees. Big change from yesterday's 90, that's for sure.
Wow, okay. A welcome change, I might say, Megan.
Welcome to me, indeed. I like the fall. We do have a couple trouble spots on the road, so we'll take a look at the LIE. Right here by the Grand Central Parkway, just westbound volume, the normal morning rush starting to build, but eastbound exit 41, that's out in Medford. There's an accident in the HOV lane, so a heads up on that. Also some trouble in Clifton on Route 3, so I'll get to those details coming up on the force.
All right, Megan, thank you very much. The imam behind the proposed mosque near Ground Zero says the project must proceed as a matter of national security. That statement came in an interview when he was asked about his willingness to move the proposed Islamic Center. Tracy Strand is live in Lower Manhattan with more. Tracy.
Michael, at this point, so many wondered what the imam could possibly say about this proposed project that we hadn't heard already. But surprisingly enough, he says he wouldn't have proposed the project if he knew that this sort of controversy would follow it. Speaking on Larry King Live last night on CNN, Faisal Abdul Rauf said building an Islamic center has been a dream of his for decades. Acknowledging the uproar that certainly come with having the center just 2 blocks away from Ground Zero, he said he would have reconsidered the plan had he foreseen the controversy. Yet he went on to say that moving this location could be a matter of national security and that he's reaching out to 9/11 families for understanding.
I'm very sensitive to those feelings. As an imam, as any religious person does, we have to minister to the pain and hurt of our congregations and our ministry and our communities. If I knew that this would happen, this would cause this kind of pain, I wouldn't have done it. My life has been devoted to peacemaking. It is not our intention to create more conflict. We want to be part of the solution. Not only want to be, we are ready, we are willing, and we are able to be part of the solution.
Now, with the controversy only continuing to escalate, this area near the proposed Islamic Center is now the site of regular police patrols. This street, Park Place, will actually be closed off to traffic on 9/11 and possibly pedestrians if need be. Well, live in Lower Manhattan this morning, Tracy Strahan, Today in New York.
Tracy, thank you. A battle is brewing in Hartford over Muslim prayers being offered before city council meetings. 2 city council members say they've received emails from across the country criticizing the prayers. They said many also contain hate-filled language against Muslim clerics. Prayers from several religions, including Islam, are often said before the council's biweekly meetings. No decision has yet been made about whether that will continue at Monday's session.
The House of Representatives is planning to hold yet another vote on a bill that could provide millions of dollars for first responders sickened at Ground Zero. The $7 billion bill, named for police detective James Zadroga, failed to pass a controversial vote back in July. But one of the bill's sponsors, Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney, says another vote will be held in Congress when they reconvene next week.
Dry conditions made for a tough firefight on Staten Island, and this morning fire crews are still keeping an eye on hot spots. 2 brush fires kept firefighters busy for hours, at times putting them in danger. Glenn Zimmerman's live in Oakwood with the latest. Glenn.
Hey, good morning, Darlene. Good morning, everyone. Definitely a very, very large fire out here, 2 of them. In fact, we saw fire crews going in and out, switching out shifts. We know that they're inside the park at this point, going around mopping up any hot spots, making sure nothing resparks. From the ground and from the air, hundreds of firefighters battled the 2 brush fires on Staten Island while dry and windy conditions fueled the flames.
It's not the normal fires that we're used to.
The bigger fire was in Great Kills Park. It went to 6 alarms and took nearly 8 hours for fire crews to finally get it under control.
It just becomes much more dangerous at night.
One firefighter hurt his back and a civilian inhaled some smoke, but everyone is expected to be okay. However, it was a very stressful day for people who live in Staten Island's Oakwood neighborhood.
The smoke started moving toward us and toward the water very quickly. Like within an hour, it was behind us. And it was black with flames up to probably 2nd story in our house.
No homes had to be evacuated, but the fire was so hot, there are reports of trees exploding. And at one point, the blaze jumped the road and trapped a unit of firefighters.
Originally, it was further back, and then because of the wind, I guess, it came very close, so it is kind of scary.
A second fire in nearby Arden Heights depleted resources, so firefighters had to come from all 5 boroughs to help out. While the 2 fires do not appear to be connected, they do show the challenges crews face after a dry and very hot summer. It's unclear at this point if the park will reopen for the day. Crews, I should say officials, are going to be in a little bit later to make that determination. They'll also talk about the size and scope, and the investigation into the cause is still going on. For now, we are live outside of Great Kills Park. I'm Glenn Zimmerman, Today in New York.
5:34 right now.
Bite your
Just
tongue.
another hour to sleep, everyone.
Wait a minute, we already did that, didn't we?
Imagine that.
No, I don't want to imagine that, but let's move
If
along.
time can go backwards.
At 5:35:08, I like it. We're looking pretty good today, actually. Things relatively quiet. You know, yesterday afternoon for a while, the relative humidity was in the 16 to 20% range. That is bone dry around here, and that's why the fire danger is still fairly high. Even for today, it's going to be relatively dry. Sun and clouds this afternoon. No hot weather for a while, that's for sure. Weekend starts out good with sunshine on Saturday, but rain, and needed rain, could head our way on Sunday. 63 in the city right now, as cool as 55 in Monticello. Chilliest spot, Mount Pocono, 53. We've seen upper 50s east end of Long Island and down the shore as well. In the clear for now, but there will be some patchy clouds mixing in with our sunshine at times today. Nice day, though. Temperatures generally getting back into the low 70s this afternoon. So gone are the 80s, certainly the 90s for a while. But this is the comfort zone, I think. This is what people look forward to after a long, hot summer. A nice fall, and that's what we're off to so far.
Okay. That sounds. I love the way you sold that one. That was good.
See?
Megan.
Good. Comfort zone?
Yeah.
That was a big one. Big headline. We like comfort. Route 3, not so comfortable right now out in Clifton. There's an accident involving a tractor trailer and a car. It's blocking a right lane if you're westbound right around Route 21. So a heads up on that. We'll take it outside now to our Skycam of the FDR. Pretty quiet there if you're heading in or out of the city, northbound and southbound. Harlem River Drive combo also in pretty good shape, although some construction on Harlem River Drive. West Side Highway looks quiet also. If you're riding along the Hudson River or trying to get through the Henry Hudson Toll Plaza, no problems. And right here in the 50s doesn't look too bad northbound or southbound either. If you're looking for a parking space today, a little break. Alternate side suspended for religious observances, but do hang on to the quarters. You still have to feed the meters. And you get a break tomorrow, too.
All right, Megan, thank you very much. Former New York City police officer has pleaded guilty to a drunk driving accident that killed a woman in Brooklyn. Andrew Kelly apologized to the parents of Unique Valnord during yesterday's court appearance. Valnord was struck and killed by Kelly's car last September as she was leaving a wedding reception. Kelly resigned from the NYPD last Friday. He'll likely be sentenced later this month to 90 days in jail and then 5 years probation.
3 men allegedly connected to the failed plot to detonate a bomb in Times Square could face terrorism charges in Pakistan. The men are accused of sending the accused bomber, Faisal Shahzad, money to carry out the attack and helping him meet with militant leaders close to the Afghanistan border. All 3 already in custody in Pakistan. Intelligence officials say other suspects are still under investigation.
Activist Lori Berenson could be freed once again from that prison in Peru. Peru's president says he's considering commuting her sentence because he doesn't consider her a threat to the country anymore. He'd also like to see Berenson's 16-month-old son, who's been behind bars with her, released as well. Berenson is serving a 20-year prison term for allegedly aiding Peruvian rebels. She was temporarily released and granted parole last May.
The Westchester County Health Department has found rabies in a coyote killed by police in Rye Brook. The animal was shot and killed on Monday. Officials believe it's the same coyote that attacked a toddler, her father, and a teen the day before. All 3 were treated for rabies. In June, in nearby Rye, there were 2 coyote attacks within 4 days. Officials believe those coyotes did not appear to be rabid.
Well, the FAA could soon be just months away from new rules regulating on how many hours an airline pilot can work. Federal Aviation Administration has promised some new rules after Colgan Air Flight 3407 went down near Buffalo, February of 2009, killing 50 people. But FAA officials will not talk about the reasons for the delay. The new rules, they may not even take place for another year. Pilots' unions and families of crash victims say they're troubled by how long it's taking when they say safety is at stake.
It's 5:38. Coming up, an attorney for Britney Spears' ex-husband comes to the pop star's defense after she sued for harassment.
Plus, welcoming home our war heroes. Talk of bringing back a New York City tradition. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Well, for years, it's been a tradition to celebrate military homecomings with a ticker tape parade through the streets of Manhattan. So what's happening with our troops returning from combat in Iraq?
Jonathan Deans asked that question, and he got this exclusive answer.
When the last U.S. combat troops crossed from Iraq into Kuwait, they were met by a couple of soldiers. Now some city officials say it soon could be time for the city to thank them like this, a ticker tape parade up the Canyon of Heroes. City Council Speaker Christine Quinn.
will certainly use the power and resources of my office to whatever degree they're needed to make sure this does happen.
Quinn says more than sports teams, the troops who served overseas deserve our thanks. She says she defers to the military and veterans groups as to when a parade should be held.
The conversation has begun, a conversation that, God willing, sooner rather than later will lead to the way we say thank you.
In 1991, there was a parade for the troops returning from the first Gulf War, and parades in 2008 and 09 were held for the champion Giants and Yankees. President Obama from the Oval Office declared an end to combat operations, saying he was in awe of the sacrifice and efforts of the troops. 50,000 soldiers remain in Iraq out of a wartime high of 170,000. More than 4,000 died. Outside the VA hospital on the east side, veterans we spoke with said a parade would be great.
It would be a great thing for the city to actually, recognize that.
But one veterans group says not now, as in their view, the war is far from over. Congressman Peter King says a parade should be held soon as a show of support.
Whether you think it's a victory, such as I do, or others who feel that we shouldn't have been there, whatever, the fact is these troops put their lives on the line. They fought courageously.
A spokesman for Mayor Bloomberg declined to comment, but one official said City Hall was reaching out to groups to assess how best to proceed. Jonathan Dienst, Today in New York.
Spokesman at the Pentagon said, quote, "We welcome any effort to recognize the sacrifices and contributions of our service members. Final say, that's up to the mayor. So far, staffers say City Hall is looking into the parade idea." And of course, the other difference is we're fighting another war in Afghanistan right now. And that might be another difference with 1991, where combat did end. And that was it.
Ended outright.
So, I mean, but it would be nice, obviously. I think a lot of people feel that the troops would deserve that honor.
Deserve the recognition,
Absolutely.
right? I mean, because you honor sports teams in such grand fashion.
Right.
So, of course, it would be worth it. All right. Well, it's 5:43. We're going to check in on the weather right now with you, Chris.
All right. Things have cooled down pretty comfortably out there this morning. The sky is mostly clear. Just see a few clouds dotting the sky here and there. And as the day wears on today, we'll start to see a few more clouds build up. But great visibility, nice air mass, very dry air mass in place. 63 degrees clear in the city. West wind at 6, humidity 60%. Pressure down just a little bit last hour, 29.81. Records on the day, 94 on the high end, 48 on the low end. They're both safe. No jeopardy of being broken. And 0.86 inches of rain fell on the state in 1902. They go back in the books. 61 Brentwood, now 61 West Hampton, 63 in the Park. We're seeing some 50s north and west down the Jersey Shore as well. Seeing some 40s across the upper Great Lakes, and some of our suburbs tonight will be in that air mass, so we could see a few upper 40s at this time tomorrow morning. Satellite radar perspective, things are relatively quiet here in the Northeast. Couple of showers up across New England. You see some patchy cloud cover lingering to the north and west of town. Right now we are in the clear, but as the day wears on, as I said, this is a pretty unstable air mass and pretty chilly aloft, and what will happen is we'll start to build up those cumulus clouds and occasionally blocking out the sunshine from time to time. So it's all about the cool down today. The little trough stays up to the north and tries to make a move towards us with a few patchy clouds, but the rain threat or shower threat stays north and west of the city. A lighter breeze tonight with a clear sky, cool temperatures, and then more of the same again tomorrow. Sun and a few clouds and some cool readings. Shortcast today, if you want to head on down there, Belmar 75, Point Pleasant 74, Jones Beach 73, Hamptons low 70s, wave heights 2 to 3 on the ocean, 1 to 2 on the sound. West wind, though, still pretty busy at 15 to 25 knots at times. UV index is a 4 for today, and no advisories are posted. In the meantime, as we look ahead into tonight, things will cool down to about 59 in the city, 53 Lakewood, but notice some 40s. North and west of the city, wouldn't be surprised in the Pine Barrens, the east end of Long Island, could see a few upper 40s as well. Weekend starts out nice, little bit warmer with some sunshine, temperatures mid and upper 70s. Cold front arrives on Sunday. Along with that will come the threat of a few showers. We do have Tropical Storm Igor to talk about. This one moving towards the west-northwest right now with winds of 40 miles an hour. Could become a Category 1 hurricane sometime late Saturday night, Sunday morning, and then perhaps a Category 2 storm out in the middle of the Atlantic. This would be on Tuesday. We'll have to keep an eye on that, though, as it gets closer and continues to move off in that easterly direction. Meantime, 7-day forecast, we are looking at temperatures generally low 70s over the next couple of days, upper 70s on Saturday, and then 74 for Sunday, 78 Monday, warms up briefly after that rain threat on Sunday, and then we're right back into the cooler weather, low 70s Tuesday and upper 60s by Wednesday. Next couple of days, though, Megan, very, very comfortable.
All right, cool weather, but a few hot spots on the roads out in Clifton, still Route 3 just after Route 21 if you're heading westbound. There's an accident there blocking a right lane, a tractor trailer and a car involved, so a heads up on that. We'll take a look at the map of the LIE. Also an accident in Medford, eastbound exit 41. It's in the HOV lane, so be aware of that. Some brake tapping through there. We'll go outside now to the Brooklyn Bridge. Ongoing construction continues there, so close to inbound traffic, but outbound is moving. Not too much trouble on the bridge other than the road work. You can try Manhattan Bridge for inbound or Williamsburg or the tunnel. And there you have it. That's the scoop.
All right, Megan, thank you. A former bodyguard for Britney Spears is expected to release a statement today regarding his sexual harassment lawsuit against the pop star. Fernando Flores, a former police officer, claims the singer repeatedly exposed herself to him and acted inappropriately towards her young children. Now, an attorney for Kevin Federline, Britney's ex-husband, says the allegations of child abuse have been investigated and are, quote, baseless.
Turning to some business headlines, it looks like consumers are picking up debit instead of credit. Total payment volumes for debit cards surpassed credit card volumes. That's the first time since 2009. Experts think the trend's likely going to continue well into this year. According to a report by Javelin Strategy and Research, the study cites credit card legislation as well as moderate consumer spending as possible reasons people are using their debit cards instead of their credit cards.
The holidays are just around the corner, and one company has been gearing up for the holiday rush for months. Toys R Us has announced plans to ramp up its holiday sales by opening 600 temporary express stores that will be open until January. Now, the move will be 6 times last year's efforts and will create 10,000 seasonal jobs. The toy retailer hopes the plan will make the company more competitive with online retailers and mass merchants such as Walmart and Target.
Okay, and of course, the city's Fashion Week kicks off today in Lincoln Center. According to Mayor Bloomberg, this will be the biggest fashion week ever. Should generate more than $385 million for the city's economy. More than 300 designers will represent an industry that supports over 175,000 jobs and puts $10 billion into our economy each year. The event, which takes place twice a year, expected to bring in more than 115,000 visitors.
Well, there's a new train in town to get you to Fashion Week. The One Subway is now affectionately known as Fashion Line. It'll take you to Lincoln Center, where the runway shows will take place for the first time. The big catwalk action officially starts today. Fashion Week generates nearly $770 million in business for the city. So when you step into the #1 train, make sure you are done.
Right.
You look good. The fashionistas are flocking to NBCNewYork.com for the latest on the Fashion Week events. We have pictures and videos from the catwalk to the star-studded parties. Just go to NBCNewYork.com/the-thread.
And I'm endorsing that fashion there. Still ahead, from carousel horses to circus posters, a colorful collection full of history that's going to go off to the highest bidder.
Plus, Google's new gadget, how the website's speeding up searches. Stay tuned.
The judges and voters have spoken in America's Got Talent. The choice came down between a local dancing duo and a 10-year-old opera sensation.
Jackie Evanko.
Pittsburgh fifth grader. She is fantastic. She moves on to the finals, while Anna Kazmarski of New Hyde Park and Patrick Klotzai of Maspeth, they'll be headed home. After the announcement, Anna was gracious. She thanked everyone for helping the dancing duo get to the top 10. They really did a great job.
They were gracious, and good luck to them. Well, the mystery over Google's strange doodles is over, and now searching the internet is faster than ever. Google unveiled the company's instant search feature to give lightning fast searches by predicting what users are looking for. The instant searches appear to only work on up-to-date browsers, so we can't demonstrate them here this morning. And it has results waiting for you before you finish typing. Google says the searches are up to 20% faster.
You can add a word and you see results update immediately. You can remove a word, you can see the results update immediately.
If you use Google 5 times a day, the new search feature will save you about 2 hours over a year. And you can turn off the instant search if you prefer the old way Google worked.
Okay. Students in the Bronx started the school year off with a big helping hand from a big Yankee picture. CC Sabathia visited PS 152 Evergreen in the Bronx to kick off his foundation known as Pitch In. Program donated new, fully loaded backpacks to 1,000 area students. CC had some advice for students to help them start that school year right.
Respect your classmates. Definitely do your homework. I got a lot of trouble with my mom because sometimes I hope the best at that. But you guys, definitely do your homework and be the best you can be.
Okay, do that homework. Among the items in the backpack: folders, ruler, line paper, a bookmarker, and some inspirational messages from CC Sabathia.
The MTA is rolling out new signs and posters to better inform riders about planned service changes. The new signs have color-coded announcements, jumbo text, and sun and moon symbols to indicate the time of day service will be affected. A new billboard-sized poster listing an entire week's worth of service changes is also set to be posted in every station. Strap hangers can expect to see the newly designed signs next week. The new posters replace those blue and orange paper notices that currently inform riders of service changes.
5:54 right now, time for weather and traffic on the 4th. Chris, that's good, because have you ever tried to read one of those things and try to figure out when the next D train is?
You missed it several times over, but I figured out what's coming. But in the meantime, traveling a little further distance today, shouldn't really be any big problems. No big storms across the country. It is relatively quiet. Boston 73, still could be a stray shower up there. 79 in D.C., 89 Atlanta, quiet. Isolated thunderstorm in Miami, but Minneapolis, Chicago, Denver, Dallas, all fine and quiet. Warm in Denver and Dallas, cool in Chicago and Minneapolis. Could be a shower in Seattle, low 60s, and San Fran to LA, upper 60s today. We're only in the low 70s for a high today. Bright sunny start, some clouds mixing in this afternoon, still on the breezy side, then partly cloudy to clear tonight. Cool, upper 50s in the city with a few 40s in the suburbs. Getting a little deeper into the commute. Any trouble spots, Megan?
Still have one, but we got rid of one. The LIE, that accident is now gone. That was out in the HOV lane, so that's good news. We'll take a look at the Cross Bronx by the Bronx River Parkway. No accidents there this morning. The Cross Bronx Deegan had a little trouble spot that cleared pretty quick, though. So everything here is just morning volume in both directions, eastbound and westbound. We'll check in on mass transit. DeKalb bus service still on strike, so service suspended. Try New Jersey Transit. Everything else, train-wise, running on or close to schedule, and that includes the subways. We'll take it back out to Route 3. Check in there where we have an issue in Clifton, the one lingering hotspot.
All right, Megan, thank you. How much would you pay for a hat worn by Michael Jackson at the Apollo Theater? That happens to be just one of 100 historic items that'll be up for auction later this week at the Park Avenue Armory. Also available, that copper casting of the Statue of Liberty's nose. We've talked about that in the past. But here's another one, a love letter from baseball great Mickey Mantle, an original statuette used in the film The Maltese Falcon. Guernsey's will also be auctioning off some vintage carousel horses and menagerie figures.
Today marks a very special morning for hundreds of couples in Taiwan. The lovebirds that you see here, they tied the knot in a mass ceremony at 9:09 a.m. on the 9th day of the 9th month of the 99th year since the founding of their republic. The word 9 in Chinese sounds like the word for longevity. 163 couples were wed.
Very cute.
Congratulations to them.
All right, we'll be right back with the latest on the Staten Island brush fires.
Also, at 6 a.m., Claire Dane stops by the stoop for a chat with Kat. We'll be right back.
I just learned how to prune.
Firefighters are still mopping up hot spots here on Staten Island. I'm Glenn Zimmerman with the aftermath of 2 brush fires that show just how hot and how dry this summer's been.
And the proposed mosque near Ground Zero continues to cause controversy, but could moving it actually pose a security risk? I'm Tracy Strahan, live in Lower Manhattan with more on the imam's take on this coming up.
Tackling tax cuts, the president has a message for the middle class. Right now, though, it is 6 a.m. on this Thursday, September 9th. Good morning, I'm Michael Gargiulo.
I'm Darlene Rodriguez. Going to check in on the weather right now with Chris. Back to school for one day for many kids yesterday. They're off today, and it's
not
cooler.
bad.
Yeah. Well, my daughter's back to school today, so I'm all confused. I don't know what's going on. Maybe by October we'll get this thing straightened out. But we know they're going back to school over the next couple of weeks. The weather picture certainly is one that is becoming more conducive to going to school. Much cooler temperatures out there today. A bit on the breezy side this afternoon with a mix of sun and clouds. The hot stuff is gone for quite a while, I think, as it stands right now. As we look ahead at the weekend, it looks like a sunny start and then a cloudy finish with maybe some showers by the time we do get to Sunday. Meantime, today, though, we're in good shape. Low 60s in and around the city. We're seeing some 50s right around the edges, distant suburbs north and west, down the shore, and even on the east end of Long Island, we've seen a few 50s this morning. Satellite radar perspective, not a heck of a lot going on. That means we're in pretty good shape. There will be some cloud cover mixing in with our sun from time to time today, but fair weather clouds, not the rain-producing type. Worst case scenario, a spritz or sprinkle well to the north and west during the mid and late afternoon, but that would be about it. So a bright sunny start, then some clouds, a bit on the breezy side, much cooler 73, and then a clear to partly cloudy night tonight with temperatures back down into the 50s in the city, 40s in the suburbs. It feels like autumn, that's for sure.
Well, there we go. All right. And Megan, good weather for the start of Fashion Week, if I might be commuting to many shows this week.
That's right. You can wear your mini dress and your fishnets.
That's it. You got it.
And you won't be too cold, it sounds like. We'll take a look at the map. The LIE has a new trouble spot. This is a disabled vehicle westbound at Willis Ave. It's blocking a center lane, so we'll see what kind of delay that's going to cause, and still an issue out on Route 3 in Clifton, which we will get to coming up next.
All right, Megan, thank you. And we begin this hour with the firefight on Staten Island. The dry conditions led to a pair of brush fires that quickly reached 6 alarms. The fast-moving flames charred brush across Arden Heights and parts of Great Kills Park. This morning, firefighters are still in the park monitoring the situation. For the latest, we go live to Glenn Zimmerman in the Oakwood section of Staten Island. Good morning, Glenn.
Good morning, Darlene. Good morning, everyone. The full extent of the fire, the damage of the fire is still unclear, and firefighters are inside. They're mopping up any hot spots. They're really trying to determine how this started, but really firefighters had their hands full in dealing with this. Wind, the hot, dry conditions. Admittedly, this is something that firefighters are not accustomed to dealing with out here. It took nearly 8 hours to get everything under control. As Darlene pointed out, it went to 6 alarms. Hundreds of firefighters showed up here from all 5 boroughs. No one was evacuated, but it did threaten at least one neighborhood nearby.
The smoke started moving toward us and toward the water very quickly. Like within an hour, it was behind us. And it was black with flames up to probably 2nd story in our house.
I was talking a little bit about the fire here at Great Kills. There's another fire in Arden Heights. It happened actually a little earlier in the day. That depleted the resources of the fire department. That's why so many firefighters had to come from other boroughs. Now, at this point, the cause is still under investigation, but according to SI Live, they're actually quoting State Senator Andrew Lanza, who's blasting the Department of Environmental Conservation for not cleaning up a certain very dry, invasive weed that grows out here. It's unclear if that weed is the cause, but certainly it'll be part of the investigation. We are live outside of Great Kills Park. I'm Glenn Zimmerman, today in New York.
Glenn, thank you very much. And because of the extremely dry conditions, New Jersey officials have expanded their drought watch statewide. They're asking residents to voluntarily conserve water. New Jersey's Environmental Protection Commissioner says limiting lawn watering, cutting back on car washing, and even doing fewer loads of laundry can actually save the state millions of gallons of water every day.
A Brooklyn landlord is under arrest for allegedly shooting and killing her tenant. Police arrested Jacqueline Wesley Rosa hours after yesterday's shooting on Linwood Street. According to the Daily News, she had a long-standing argument with the victim, 55-year-old Patricia Wilson. Wesley reportedly once fired a pistol or an air gun at Wilson's nephew, while Wilson allegedly notified the city when Wesley illegally disposed of liquid waste.
The imam behind the controversial Lower Manhattan Mosque is now saying that a change in location would embolden radicals and create security risks. It comes as one of the project's backers says he'll consider selling the Park Place building for the right price. Tracy Strand is live in Lower Manhattan with the very latest developments. Tracy.
Well, Michael, we heard from the imam last night, and he actually admitted that had he foreseen the controversy attached to this issue, he actually would have considered relocating the proposed project. But he also warned that retreating from the plans at this point could actually lead to anger in the Muslim world. Speaking on Larry King Live last night on CNN, Faisal Abdul Rauf said building an Islamic center has been a dream of his for decades, but he also acknowledged the uproar that's been attached to having the center just 2 blocks away from Ground Zero. He said that he would have reconsidered the plan had he foreseen the controversy, but he went on to say that the location can actually be a matter of national security. He's also reaching out to 9/11 families for understanding.
I'm very sensitive to those feelings. As an imam, as any religious person does, we have to minister to the pain and hurt of our congregations and our ministry and our communities. If I knew that this would happen, this would cause this kind of pain, I wouldn't have done it. My life has been devoted to peacemaking. It is not our intention to create more conflict. We want to be part of the solution. Not only want to be, we are ready, we are willing, and we are able to be part of the solution.
Now, we're also hearing from one of the financial backers of the Cordoba House Initiative, and he says it's merely a business transaction for him, even though he supports the project. He also said that if someone offered him between $18 to $20 million, that he may consider selling it. We're live in Lower Manhattan this morning. Tracy Strahan, today in New York.
Tracy, thank you. And a new argument is underway in Hartford, where some people are objecting to Muslim prayers being said before city council meetings. The two city council members say they've received emails from across the country criticizing the prayers. They said many also contain hate-filled language against Muslim clerics. Prayers from several religions, including Islam, are often said before the council's bi-weekly meetings. No decision has been made about whether that will continue at Monday's session.
All right, time for check-up weather and traffic. We'll start with Chris in the Weather Center. Chris, quite the change this morning from previous mornings, huh?
Yeah, temperatures quite a bit lower. Humidity still way down there, too. Temperature-wise in the city, we're down to 62 officially, 62 at Newark, same number in White Plains, some 50s around the edges in the distant suburbs, out east, down the shore, and north and west of town as well. The sky is clear to partly cloudy right now. We're seeing some patchy clouds drifting down from the north and west, but notice on next Route 4, nothing in terms of any shower activity. Have to go all the way up to the north, really around the Kingston area might be a sprinkle. Further north of there, a couple of spritzes working their way through southeast New England, but not a problem for us today. No rain to worry about. Sun will mix with clouds, and we do expect temperatures to be quite a bit cooler. Yesterday's high was 90. In Newark, it was 93. Well, how about 73? That's the best we're going to do in the city today with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Again, a little bit on the breezy side, so be extra careful out there. The fire danger still on the high side. All right, approaching 6:06. Megan, what are folks approaching as they head out the door?
Well, there's that issue out in Clifton on Route 3 still, westbound just after Route 21, a tractor trailer and a car involved, and there is at least a right lane blocked. So a heads up on that trouble spot. We'll take it outside now to the Whitestone Bridge. No problems there heading into Queens or the Bronx. Some morning volume starting to pick up, but still moving pretty well. We'll check the Holland Tunnel. If you're coming in from the 1 and 9 approach, you're in good shape. Coming in from the Turnpike, you're all right as well. Really no wait to worry about there inbound or outbound. Hudson River crossings have been in good shape. So there you have it. That's a check of the roads.
Okay, Megan, thank you. Well, President Obama is taking aim at the Bush tax cuts. In a speech yesterday in Ohio, the president says that the U.S. can't afford to extend the Bush tax cuts. The president said that keeping tax cuts for those who are already millionaires would cost $700 billion in borrowing over the next 10 years. He also proposed additional help for small business owners by introducing billions in business tax write-offs. Top Republican opponent, Representative John Boehner, called the proposals another short-term spending measure.
The city is inviting first responders and mayors across the country to incorporate pieces of the World Trade Center in their own memorials. Some 2,000 pieces of steel from the fallen buildings are now being sent to communities nationwide. Monroe Township in New Jersey got their piece hand-delivered Wednesday, a small, roughly 1-foot square section that will be housed at Fire District No. 3 headquarters. A widow of a New York City firefighter who lived in Monroe was there. Several Monroe firefighters worked on the pile in the days after the attacks.
I hope that people can come and touch and feel and remember that day when Alan and the 343 other firemen were in that building and gave the ultimate sacrifice.
Similar metal squares are being shipped to 1,000 other communities. The goal to get them all distributed before next year's 10th anniversary of the attacks. And our live coverage of this Saturday's Remembrance Ceremony does begin at 6 a.m. with Weekend Today in New York. At 8 a.m., we'll be live in Lower Manhattan as families gather at the World Trade Center for the ceremony. And then that begins, of course, at 8:40 a.m. You can also watch the entire ceremony live on our website, NBCNewYork.com.
It is 6:08 on this Thursday. Still ahead, what police in Westchester are learning about the coyote that attacked 2 children.
Also coming up this morning, hear what Snooki had to say to the judge. We'll be right back.
Your judgment in this matter.
A former New York City police officer will likely be sentenced to 90 days in jail after pleading guilty to a deadly drunk driving accident. Andrew Kelly did apologize to the parents of Yannick Valnord during a court appearance yesterday. Valnord was struck and killed by Kelly's car as she was leaving a wedding reception last September in Brooklyn. Her father said yesterday he was glad to see Kelly accepting responsibility for her death, and he said he forgives him.
The family of the student found murdered at Yale University says they may sue the school. The Long Island relatives of Annie Lay wondered if officials responded quickly enough after Lay went missing a year ago. They also want to know if Yale properly checked the background of Lay's co-worker and suspected killer, Raymond Clark. Detectives later found her body on the day she was supposed to be married. Clark has pleaded not guilty.
The Westchester County Health Department has found rabies in a coyote killed by police in Rybrook. That animal was shot and killed on Monday, and officials do believe it's the same coyote that attacked a toddler, her father, and a teen the day before. All 3 were treated for rabies. In June in nearby Rye, there were 2 coyote attacks within just 4 days. Officials believe those coyotes, though, do not appear to be rabid.
We'll check weather and traffic next.
Plus, secrets on the stoop.
I'm Kat Greenleaf. Up next on Talk Stoop, Claire Danes discussing...
Oh, a great variety of things.
Lots of
lashes.
Yes.
Lashes.
And dirty secrets.
Yes, those two.
The remnants of Tropical Storm Hermine, responsible for a series of tornadoes that touched down in Dallas. Now, this is amateur footage of one of the funnel clouds. One of those tornadoes managed to flip over an 18-wheeler, sending it crashing into a building. Driver taken to a local hospital there. No word yet as to his condition.
It's 6:14. You're talking about Hermine and tropical storms, obviously, this season, and how they spawn the tornadoes as well.
Yeah, once they come over land, that tends to happen. That was not a particularly strong storm, but did a lot of damage with flooding and some scattered tornadoes yesterday. It's raining itself out now across the mid-Mississippi Valley. For us, quiet weather. Beautiful shot from Chopper 4. This picture taken just a few moments ago. Pre-sunrise, but a beautiful morning visibility. Clear to the horizon, looking good. 69, partly cloudy, 62, partly cloudy skies out there. Humidity is at 60%. The winds are west at 6, and the pressure's falling a little bit at 29.81. In terms of temperatures, it has cooled down to 57 now out in the Pine Barrens. 59 in Middletown, 55 holding steady Monticello, 60 in Sussex, and holding at 59 down at Belmar. So a nice, cool, crisp start to the day. Cooler yet this time, I think, tomorrow morning, too. Generally fair weather over the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic states. We don't have the strongest of high pressures in charge here, so that's why there's some patchy cloud cover. But that'll be the case today. We'll have sunshine that will mix with some fair weather clouds. Not a problem. Big cool down compared to where we've been over the last several days, though, with highs only in the lower 70s this afternoon. Nice night again tonight. Lighter breeze. The lighter the breeze, the more the temperatures will drop in the suburbs. More of the same again tomorrow. Sunshine, just a few clouds, and temperatures generally in the low 70s. That's where we're going to be this afternoon. 73 in the city. A little bit better central New Jersey, some mid-70s. Out east, low 70s. Nearby suburbs of Connecticut, close to 70. And then north and west, we may only see highs in the mid and upper 60s this afternoon. 59 the low in town, 51 in Greenwich, 55 in Southampton, 53 Lakewood. But again, some 40s. Not all that far away, northwestern suburbs. Overnight tonight with that clear to partly cloudy sky and a little less wind as we go through the overnight. A little more warmth as we go into the start of the weekend Saturday. Not a heat wave, but we're back to between 75 and 80 at least. Then a cold front arrives on Sunday. That could produce a few showers, especially Sunday afternoon. So 73 and 72 today, comfortable days. More sun, I think, around tomorrow. A little bit milder Saturday, 77. That's the better of the two this weekend. Outdoor plans may get a little soggy on Sunday with a high of 74. And then we're back to warming it up a little Monday before it cools down again by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So relatively quiet pattern. How's it look commute-wise?
All right, a soggy Sunday. Heads up on that, right? It's looking okay commute-wise. Couple issues, though. In Eatontown, 36 westbound at Grant Ave, there's an accident, so heads up on that. The LIE, an improvement there. We'll take a look at the map. That accident disabled vehicle, I should say, westbound at Willis Ave, has moved to the shoulder, so it's no longer blocking a center lane, so that's moving in the right direction. Harlem River Drive had some construction earlier for about an hour, but it's looking okay now coming on or off the George Washington Bridge, so that's also good. As far as Route 3 goes, in Clifton, we'll take it up to Kai Simonson in Chopper 4 for that update. Hey, Kai, what's going on?
Well, good morning to you, Megan. Yeah, you can see here we got a little problem. These are live pictures now from Chopper 4 over Route 3 westbound here. Just after Route 21 in Clifton, we have an accident involving a car and a tractor-trailer. The car is out of here. You can see the tractor-trailer hooked up to a heavy-duty tow. Like I said before, this is in the westbound direction. Right lane is blocked. Not causing too much of a problem just now. Just something to keep in mind. Live at Chopper 4, I'm Kai Simons and Michael and Darlene. Back on over to you.
Kai, thank you very much. If you were a fan of My So-Called Life, not My So-Called Life, the show, you already know the talented Claire Danes. She was recently honored with an Emmy for her work on the HBO film Temple Grandin.
That's right, and she joined our own Kat Greenleaf on the stoop to chat about her wildly successful career. Kat.
Hello, Michael Gargiulo. I am fascinated by your so-called life, just so you know. I think the viewing public is. So we all know Claire Danes is one heck of an actress, but it turns out she's also a deep thinker, a sweet person, and a native New Yorker from Soho, which happens to be right across the bridge from the stoop. So what's on her mind these days? Take a listen. Claire Danes, welcome to Brooklyn.
You kissed by the book. I'm a really poor judge of character.
I have to imagine that you're still often referred to as Angela Chase from My So-Called Life.
He doesn't have stubble.
It's kind of a cult classic. You're kind of culty.
Yeah, it became that way. Well, I mean, it wasn't very successful while it was on the air, but then it was picked up by, I guess it was MTV, and then ran relentlessly.
It's some very important historical women, right? We have Beth March and Little Women.
It feels so strange.
Juliet Capulet from Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet.
Right.
Saints do not move.
My name is Temple Grandin.
You've recently played another very extraordinary woman, although not a historical figure, Temple Grandin.
I know my system will work because I've been through it 1,000 times in my head.
Temple has autism and has come up with humane slaughtering practices for animals for food. Is your role as an actress to ultimately become an advocate for causes, or is your role as an actress just to go to work and act?
I think it's more the latter.
It's a machine I just made.
I know my limitations. I really am just an actor. I make no claims about being an authority on any other subject.
Well, today you're here because you're an authority on eyelashes.
Well,
you're here
that's
for the
true.
tea.
That
so
is true.
If you have eyelashes that are like just fine, why is it important that people grow bigger, better, stronger, thicker lashes?
Well, I mean, I think it's a personal choice.
I can't even barely put on a mascara, so for me it all seems a little daunting. Thank you very much for being on Talk Scoop.
Thank you.
For my full Claire Stoop, please head to NBCNewYork.com/TalkStoop. Watch New York nonstop every night at 8 or tune in right here after Saturday Night Live. You know, I had the pleasure of seeing Claire on the red carpet at the Emmys right before she won, and I had this feeling that she was going to win, so either I'm psychic or more likely she's just really, really good.
And you have a good sense of things like that. That's why.
Of people winning?
Yeah, well, you know.
You're gonna win
Yeah, I'm going to win. Yeah, I'm a real winner. Let me tell you, we liked Broke Down Palace with Claire Danes.
She
Remember
was
that movie?
so good in that movie. I love that, and Kate Beckinsale was also fantastic. You know, bring Kate Beckinsale to the Stoop too. Why
Absolutely.
not?
Please do.
Kate, come on over.
Okay.
All right.
We'll still ahead this morning, a new law that aims to end schoolyard bullying.
But first, a look at what you're doing tonight if you like oysters. At Jimmy's number 43 in the East Village, you'll get to sample and learn all about our local Peconic Pearl oysters. The event begins at 7:30.
And then over at the Blue Note Powerhouse, vocalist Lettucey sings with the Count Basie Orchestra. For all the details, head to NBCNewYork.com. We'll be right back. Officials in Riverhead are doing away with using Google Earth when it comes to finding out who has illegal pools. Remember this story, council members voted to stop using Google Earth and programs similar to it last night. Riverhead officials had racked up thousands of dollars in fines for people who they caught with pools without permits. However, opponents of the program said that they thought using Google Earth jeopardized the privacy of residents.
There's a new train in town to get you to Fashion Week. The One subway is now affectionately known as the Fashion Line. It'll take you to Lincoln Center, where the runway shows will take place for the first time. The big catwalk action officially starts today. The Fashion Week generates nearly $770 million in business for the city. The fashionistas are all flocking to NBCNewYork.com for the latest on Fashion Week events. We have pictures and videos from the catwalk to the star-studded parties. So go to NBCNewYork.com/thethread.
6:24 right now, time for weather and traffic on the 4s. And let's check in with Chris in the Weather Center.
Swimwear. Anyone?
I like that just happened to be the one we picked
I
for
love
everything,
that.
right?
Who's behind that one? We're going to find out. All right, let's get a look outside this morning at some temperatures that have cooled down a little bit. Not swimwear weather, that's for sure. 62 in the city right now. Long Beach, 65. West Sayville, 63. Hampton Bay, 61 to the north. Monticello, 57. Livingston Manor down to the mid-50s. Tilson, 59. And Cornwall on Hudson, 59 degrees. And in northern New Jersey, it's 56 in Oxford, Andover, 57. East Rutherford, 61. And Strathmore at 60. Forecast for today, sun mixing with some clouds, 73. Bit on the breezy side, and then cool tonight. Clear to partly cloudy, 59 the low in the city, 40s in the suburbs. Speaking of fashionistas, here's our resident fashionista. Megan?
Don't say swimwear, because I have a challenging relationship with swimwear right now. We'll take a look at mass transit. No challenges there on the rails this morning. Metro North on down to Long Island Railroad. Things are running on time, so you shouldn't have a wait at the platform, on the platform. Subways also are looking good. Of course, DeKalb bus service still on strike, so service suspended. Try New Jersey Transit. And that's the scoop on mass transit. We'll get back to the roads coming up.
All right, Megan, thanks very much. From fist pumping to a slap on the wrist, that's what happened when the Jersey Shore's Snooki appeared in a Seaside Heights courtroom yesterday.
When I saw what happened and everyone told me what happened, very embarrassed. This is not like me. I've never been in this situation before, so I definitely would like to apologize to anybody that I hurt.
The Key West people had to tell her what happened.
Yeah,
Snooki was arrested in July for creating a public nuisance, disorderly conduct, and annoying beachgoers. Before the sentencing, the judge, Damian Murray, heeded some advice to the defendant.
Seem to be acting like a Lindsay Lohan wannabe in this matter. Only you can determine if it's worth trading your dignity for a paycheck.
While the reality star did end up pleading guilty to disturbing the quiet, the other charges got dismissed. The court gave her community service and a $500 fine.
They make these decisions about their dignity versus paycheck on Jersey Shore daily. All right, we'll be right back with our top stories.
The headlines in the Muslim world will be that Islam is under attack.
The Lower Manhattan Mosque's imam declares the project must continue, but a major backer now says the mosque could move for the right price.
The brush fire battle. Firefighters in Staten Island have extinguished the flames, but they remain on alert. That's due to dry conditions.
And putting an end to bullying, a new law will force schools to better protect students. Good morning, everyone. Almost 6:30. It is a Thursday morning. Welcome to Today in New York. I'm Darlene Rodriguez.
I'm Michael Gargiulo. Let's check in with Chris. Chris, good thing we got that one day of school done for the week. So
it's out of the way
What kind
now.
of weather the kids have for their day off
Back
today?
on vacation. Nice 4-day weekend coming up. Pretty good start today, actually. Nice and cool, but it is dry once again, so there will be that fire danger issue to contend with a gusty breeze from time to time. Not as strong as yesterday. 62 in the city, going to a high of 73. And the sun will mix with a few clouds from time to time. But some nice weather coming up. We'll talk more about that in the fours.
All right, Chris, thank you. And Megan, how are the roads looking at this hour?
Not too bad. We're going to take a look at the George. Only about a 5-minute wait there coming into the city, and that's the longest wait of the Hudson River crossings. There was a little construction there this morning, but it didn't last and it didn't back things up. We had that issue on Route 3 in Clifton. It's pretty much cleared, so not a lot of trouble spots. We will take it out to some other roads coming up on the fours.
All right, Megan, thanks very much. We want to get to our top story this half hour. The imam of the controversial Lower Manhattan Mosque now says moving the site could embolden radicals, create a security risk for Americans. But there's still a chance the planned community center could be built in a different location. Tracy Strand is live on Park Place with the very latest. Tracy.
Well, Michael, although he says no middle ground option on this proposed mosque has been presented to him just yet, the imam said he is still open to compromise, but that from retreating from plans to have it here at Park Place could actually fuel violence.
Imam Faisal Abdul Rauf says the proposed Islamic center near Ground Zero has been a vision of his for decades. But breaking his silence on CNN's Larry King Live, claimed if he knew the furor that would arise over the plan, he may not have proposed it.
If I knew that this would happen, this would cause this kind of pain, I wouldn't have done it. My life has been devoted to peacemaking.
Yet he echoed remarks made in an editorial written for Wednesday's New York Times, saying plans for the Cordoba House project will move forward, claiming that withdrawing would only pose a security risk.
If we moved from that location, the story will be that the radicals have taken over the discourse. The headlines in the Muslim world will be that Islam is under attack.
And that sentiment may already be growing. An FBI bulletin put out last month claimed that Muslim extremists are likely to retaliate against the International Burn a Quran Day planned by a Florida church on September 11th. It's already sparked protests abroad like this one in Jakarta, Indonesia. Yet it's also warranted condemnation from leaders here in the U.S.
Our commitment to religious tolerance goes back to the very beginning of our nation.
Meanwhile, one of the financial backers of the project says he still supports it, but is willing to actually sell it for the right price. He's an investor out of Long Island and says that price could end up being between $18 and $20 million. He'd be willing to let go of it. Well, live in Lower Manhattan this morning, Tracy Strahan, Today in New York.
Tracy, thanks very much. Meanwhile, the House is planning to hold yet another vote on a bill that could provide millions of dollars for first responders who were sickened to Ground Zero. The $7 billion bill was named for police detective James Zadroga. It failed to pass in a controversial procedural vote back in July. One of the bill's sponsors, Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney, says another vote will be held when Congress comes back next week.
This morning, firefighters are still on Staten Island at the site of the brush fires. The flames were brought under control late last night, but there are concerns that things could flare up once again. Glenn Zimmerman is in the Oakwood section with the very latest. Good morning, Glenn.
Good morning, Darlene. Good morning, everyone. We've seen fire trucks go into Great Kills Park. We understand they are inside mopping up any sort of hot spots and have been doing so throughout the night and into the early portion of the morning. At this point, it's unclear the extent of the damage. It's also unclear if the park's even going to open today. From the ground and from the air, hundreds of firefighters battled the 2 brush fires on Staten Island while dry and windy conditions fueled the flames.
It's not the normal fires that we're used to.
The bigger fire was in Great Kills Park. It went to 6 alarms and took nearly 8 hours for fire crews to finally get it under control.
It just becomes much more dangerous at night.
One firefighter hurt his back and a civilian inhaled some smoke, but everyone is expected to be okay. However, it was a very stressful day for people who live in Staten Island's Oakwood neighborhood.
The smoke started moving toward us and toward the water very quickly. Like within an hour, it was behind us. And it was black with flames up to probably 2nd story in our house.
No homes had to be evacuated, but the fire was so hot, there are reports of trees exploding. And at one point, the blaze jumped the road and trapped a unit of firefighters.
Originally, it was further back, and then because of the wind, I guess, it came very close, so it is kind of scary.
A second fire in nearby Arden Heights depleted resources, so firefighters had to come from all 5 boroughs to help out. While the 2 fires do not appear to be connected, they do show the challenges crews face after a dry and very hot summer. Well, at this point, it's not clear what started these 2 different fires. According to a report from SI Live, State Senator Andrew Lanza is actually blasting the Department of Environmental Conservation. Apparently, there's some invasive weeds that are very dry. They've been growing here, and he's saying the Department of Environmental Conservation should have gotten rid of them. We are live outside of Great Kills Park. I'm Glenn Zimmerman. Back to you guys in the studio.
Glenn, thank you. 6:35 on a Thursday morning. I'm going to check in on the weather. Feeling like fall, we were saying earlier, Chris.
That it is, and I think it's time to get used to that because over the next few days, that's where we're going to be in terms of especially early morning hours with readings down in the 50s and low 60s this morning. Tomorrow morning, it'll be 40s and 50s. A cooler day ahead, yes, still on the breezy.
Did you say 40s and 50s
yes,
tomorrow morning, Chris?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
And at 6:35, Michael finally heard what I said.
No.
This just in, that's changed the headlines.
I don't know how many times.
The hot weather's gone. Yeah, I'm sorry, Michael. Just kidding. 62 in the city, same number in Newark, 61 Islip. He's a very busy man over there. 60 in Poughkeepsie and 50s. Northwestern suburbs, Morristown now down to 55. Generally a clear sky with the northeast, but there will be some fair weather clouds that will mix with our sunshine. Today, we start out in the upper 50s, low 60s. We end up in the low 70s this afternoon. But again, another cool night tonight before we see a little moderation early over the weekend on Saturday, maybe upper 70s. But
okay. There you go. Megan.
Should I quiz him about the traffic report?
Good.
Yeah,
Let's see how closely he's been listening. All right, Mr. Gargiulo, detention. No. All right, well, 36 westbound at Grant Ave, still an issue out in Eatontown, so a heads up on an accident there. Other than that, not too bad. We'll take a look at the Midtown Tunnel. If you're coming off the westbound LIE, a little bit of traffic starting to back up there, but really not much of a wait, not even 5 minutes probably. The Manhattan Bridge, also in good shape. Everything's moving there, heading into Brooklyn or Manhattan. No problems, and probably a better choice inbound than the Brooklyn Bridge, which is closed with that ongoing construction. There you have it. That's the scoop.
All right, Megan, thanks very much. The ACLU of New Jersey is calling for the federal government to investigate the Newark Police Department. The group plans to file a petition today citing hundreds of claims of misconduct that has left city residents distrustful, some of them, of the police. But a city spokesperson calls that petition frivolous. She says it focuses on lawsuits that date back before current Mayor Cory Booker took office.
Another wake will be held tonight for one of the 2 men who died in a manhole accident in Tarrytown. More than 100 people gathered last night to pay their respects to Department of Public Works employee Anthony Ruggiero. Ruggiero died after apparently being overcome by fumes Monday night. John Kelly, the volunteer firefighter who attempted to rescue him, also died. Officials are expected to release more information about their investigation into the accident later this morning. And police have arrested a Brooklyn landlord for the deadly shooting of her tenant. 55-year-old Patricia Wilson was found shot in the chest yesterday morning on Linwood Street. Jacqueline Wesley Rosa was arrested several hours later. According to the Daily News, the 2 women had previous confrontations. This past July, Wesley allegedly fired a pistol or an air gun at Wilson's nephew. Last year, Wilson reportedly called the city when Wesley illegally disposed of a barrel of liquid waste.
3 men allegedly connected to the failed plot to detonate a bomb in Times Square could face terrorism charges in Pakistan. Those men are accused of sending the accused bomber, Faisal Shahzad, money to carry out the attack and helping to meet with militant leaders close to the Afghanistan border. All 3 are already in custody in Pakistan. Intelligence officials say other suspects, they are still under investigation.
The city could be honoring troops coming home from Iraq in grand fashion. City Council Speaker Christine Quinn says New York should throw a ticker tape parade up the Canyon of Heroes, just as it did for troops returning home from the first Gulf War in 1991, and as it's done for championship sports teams. Quinn signaled her support for the parade during a conversation with News 4's Jonathan Dienst.
I will certainly use the power and resources of my office to whatever degree they're needed to make sure this does happen. And I can't imagine that at the right moment, the city of New York in its totality won't jump at the opportunity to say thank you.
Quinn says the biggest question about the parade is when to throw it, pointing out that while the president has declared an end to the war in Iraq, 48,000 troops are still stationed there.
Governor Patterson has just signed into law an anti-bullying bill. It's under the Dignity for All Students Act. Harassment and discrimination would be prohibited. Schools would not only have to revise their codes of conduct, they'd also have to have at least one staff member who would be trained in handling various counseling methods when it comes to discrimination. The new bill protects kids against bullying when it comes to disabilities and race. Transgender students also protected under this measure.
New York City school kids had their first day of school with almost a quarter of the kids not showing up. Students came back for one day and have today and tomorrow off for Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. They return to classes on Monday. The city education department reports attendance at 77%. That's down from 84% for the first day of school last year.
Well, there were some tense moments for a Bronx family when they found themselves sharing some space with a raccoon. Police were called to Shakespeare Avenue in the Highbridge section of the Bronx early this morning for a raccoon in an apartment. There he is. Police dressed in riot gear captured the raccoon and took the animal away. No word as to what will happen to the animal or just how it got into its apartment. This is something we saw in Brooklyn and other places as well.
That's an unwelcome guest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, it is. Still ahead this morning, a faster way to find what you want on the internet.
And then we have some good news for some of America's most talented tweens today in New York. I'll be right back. 6:43 right now. Tonight, the NFL season kicks off in New Orleans, and while it's not an official holiday down on the Big Easy, City Hall will be closed, schools shutting down early. Taylor Swift and Dave Matthews will headline the pregame celebrations. So it's the Super Bowl champs, the New Orleans Saints, hosting the Minnesota Vikings in a rematch of last year's NFC Championship game. It should be great. Be sure to watch it right here on 4 New York. The kickoff 8:30 tonight. Meanwhile, at the U.S. Open, it was Roger Federer taking on Robin Soderling. Coming into the match, Federer had 12 wins, only one loss to Soderling. That was at last year's French Open. Federer beat Soderling in straight sets, and now the number 2 seeded and 5-time U.S. Open champ will face the number 3 seeded Novak Djokovic in Saturday's semifinals. Meanwhile, the women's top seed, Caroline Wozniacki, took on the 45th seeded Dominika Cibulkova in last women's quarterfinal match. Despite the high winds at the Arthur Ashe Stadium, Wozniacki won in straight sets. She'll now face the Wimbledon runner-up, Vera Zvonareva. I hope I said that right, on Friday. In baseball, the Yankees avoided the sweep and beat Baltimore 3-2, and while the Mets beat the Nationals 3-2, they've now won 2 games in a row, on the road as well, for a bona fide winning streak. So congratulations to both teams.
Absolutely. Well, the judges and voters have spoken on America's Got Talent. The choice came down to a local dancing duo or a 10-year-old opera singer.
Jackie Evanko.
That Pittsburgh 5th grader moves on to the finals, while Anna Kazmarski of New Hyde Park and Patrick Klozai of Maspeth, they'll be headed home. After the announcement, Anna was gracious. She thanked everyone for helping the dancing duo get to the top 10, as I was about to say. Well, we're out of time, but they're very cute. Congratulations.
They were, actually. It's hard to deny that voice, and I have.
Isn't it unbelievable,
Chris? It's miraculous almost. All right, let's get. We're in a hurry, so let's go. Not yours. Your voice, not so much, but. Little work. Nice and sunny start. Look at that picture postcard out there this morning. Beautiful start to the day. 62. Partly cloudy skies. We've got a wind out of the west at 7. Humidity 62%, matching that temperature. 29.81. The pressure, that's holding steady. Low 60s in and close to the city. Upper 50s to mid 50s north and west. We're seeing some 40s up across the upper Great Lakes. And that cool, dry air is all heading in our direction for at least the next couple of days. Speaking of the U.S. Open, looks good today. Sunshine, just some clouds mixing in. Not as windy, but still breezy at times. Between 70 and 75 degrees. A nice afternoon and evening for tennis. We cool it down today from yesterday's upper 80s and low 90s, more like the low 70s this afternoon. A lighter breeze tonight. Crisp, cool. Some of the suburbs will be down in the 40s, then more of the same for tomorrow with sunshine. It stays dry and temperatures low 70s. Tropical storm Igor with winds of 40 miles an hour expected to move to the west-northwest over the next several days and intensify. Could become a Category 1 storm late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, and perhaps a Category 2 hurricane with 100-mile-per-hour winds by late Monday night, early Tuesday morning. That's Bermuda. The U.S. mainland is way out to the west of that, but as this continues to trek off in that direction, we'll have to keep a careful eye on it, see what the steering currents are going to be like. 73 for us today with sunshine mixing with some clouds. Much cooler than it's been, obviously. Still a bit on the breezy side. And then tonight, partly cloudy to clear skies. It drops to about 59 in the city. We could see some 40s, though, in some of those distant suburbs. A crisp, cool start to the day tomorrow. We'll warm it up a little bit as we start the weekend. Saturday, mid and upper 70s with sunshine, just some high clouds mixing in. Really, Saturday, by far the better of the two this weekend. Showers around on Sunday. Not necessarily an all-day rain, but some on and off showers, good possibility. 73 today, 72 tomorrow. A couple of similar days, maybe a little more sun through Friday. A little milder Saturday, 77. Showers around Sunday, warming up a bit on Monday at 78 before we cool it right back down to autumn-like. 73 Tuesday and 69 for a high temperature by Wednesday. Late into the commute, trouble spots, Megan?
Things are looking pretty quiet right now. We did have a busy run, but right now not too bad. We'll take a look at the Major Deegan. If that's your route to work, no problems there, northbound or southbound by the Cross Bronx. Taking it out now to the Throgs Neck if you're heading into Queens or the Bronx. Some morning volume out there, so moving a little slow, but nothing unusual. And the Verrazano Bridge is construction free if you're heading into Brooklyn or Staten Island, upstairs and downstairs. It's all moving. Goethals, Bayonne, and Outer Bridge, they all look good too. So that's a check of the quiet roads.
Okay, Megan, thanks very much. Still to come, the best places for happy hour.
Yeah, plus Google does it again. See how the site is speeding up the way you search. We'll be back. Welcome back. After a long day at the office, many Americans frequent happy hour to relax and unwind. Well, on today's Top 4, the people at GoTime.com have ranked the best cities for happy hour. It's not just a city for coffee lovers. Seattle, that's in 4th place. San Diego, known for its gas lamp quarter, lovely there, is 3rd. 2nd place is the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And check it out, the top city for happy hour has more than 28 breweries. That is Portland, Oregon. And New York just missed the list, coming in at number 5.
Wow, okay. Well, the Today Show is coming up in just a few minutes. We want to check in with Meredith in this, her latest job, and see what's ahead.
We loved you yesterday. Your dancing, the whole story was so sweet. I'm a little, I don't know about everybody else's dancing over there. We need a little help from you, Meredith.
Well, Natalie actually is quite good. She used to take tap dancing herself.
There you go. Well, everybody else, I don't know.
Well, they tried, and that's what counts,
That's
those
true.
little hoofers then. Thank you so much anyhow, guys. Coming up this Thursday morning on Today, wild weather across Texas and the southern plains from the remains of Tropical Storm Hermine. We will get the latest on that. Then we're going to hear from the reverend of that small Florida church that still plans to burn the Koran on 9/11 despite worldwide protests. And this week on our special series about first jobs, you've seen Matt as a paperboy. You just talked about me as a tap dance teacher. Well, today it is Anne's turn, and she's trying her hand as a babysitter. Good luck. All that plus Matt and Al will be live in New Orleans to kick off the NFL season. And that's when we get started on a Thursday morning right here on Today.
All right.
To you guys.
That looks fantastic, Meredith. Thank you very much.
Thank
Can't wait
you,
to see you,
guys.
Ann.
See you later.
Well, the mystery over Google's strange doodles is over, and now searching the internet, they say, is faster than ever. Google unveiled the company's instant search feature to give lightning-fast searches. It predicts what you're looking for even before you finish the word. The instant searches appear only to work, though, on up-to-date browsers. It has results waiting for you before you actually finish typing. Now, Google says the searches are up to 20% faster, and you can turn off the instant search if you like the old-fashioned way Google worked.
The MTA is rolling out new signs and posters to better inform riders about planned service changes. The new signs have color-coded announcements, jumbo text, and sun and moon symbols to indicate the time of day service will be affected. A new billboard-sized poster listing an entire week's worth of service changes is also set to be posted in every station. Strap hangers can expect to see the newly designed signs next week. The new posters replace those blue and orange paper notices that currently inform riders of service changes.
Okay. Sun and moon especially useful when you're underground. We'll be right back with today's top stories, checking the weather and traffic as well. 6:54 right now. Time for weather and traffic on the sports. We're going to start with Chris. Because I have to say, I'm really enjoying this weather. I don't know what's going to come after, but right now it feels great.
Well, we've kind of turned the corner. I mean, the chance of, again, we always talk about the summertime temperatures coming back. This time of the year, it doesn't last very long, but next few days, no summertime temperatures. Fall. That's what we're feeling out there this morning. Low 60s in the city, upper 50s north and west, even out east down to 57 in West Hampton. Sunshine, we'll mix in a few clouds, a cool breeze throughout the day, and a high temperature of 73. So, yeah, the weight's been lifted. It feels good. Absolutely.
It does feel good. All right, Chris. Thank you. Megan, nice fall commute.
Yep. We'll take a look at the Lincoln Tunnel. The Hudson River crossings have been in good shape this morning. If you're coming in around the helix there, not much of a wait, really. 5 minutes at the most. It looks pretty good. Williamsburg Bridge also in good shape. Lower East River crossings are pretty quiet. Of course, inbound Brooklyn Bridge closed with that ongoing construction, but heading here into Brooklyn or Manhattan, no problems. The Gowanus pretty backed up. Well, actually, it's not terrible for the Gowanus, is it? I changed my mind. Not too bad. If you're heading inbound there, past the belt merge, looking pretty good. And outbound is as well. Now we're going to take it up to Kai Simonson in Chopper 4. He is in Pine Brook, New Jersey over a police investigation. Hey, Kai, what's going on there?
Well, Megan, these are live pictures now from Chopper 4 over Pine Brook, New Jersey. This is where an ongoing police investigation is causing some problems on our roadways out here. This is on Changebridge Road. Now, reports of a police pursuit which began in Montville is following a robbery early this morning. The suspects fled on that motorcycle you see there on the flatbed toward the center part of your screen, or what's left of that motorcycle. Now, unfortunately, one of the suspects was killed. The other one is in the hospital, unknown condition at this point. As I come out a little bit here, you can see an accident investigation. It continues. And that roadway, Changebridge Road, closed in both directions through this area. Live in Chopper 4, I'm Kai Simonson. Back on over to you.
All right, thank you, Kai. Topping the news, the lack of rain created a dangerous situation on Staten Island.
Glenn Zimmerman's live in the Oakwood section where firefighters have been battling brush fires. Glenn.
Yeah, fire crews are actually still out here inside of Great Kills Park, mopping up any hot spots. The fire is out at this point. It's one of two different brush fires that really challenged firefighters. The windy conditions, the dry conditions made it very difficult. Took hundreds of them from all 5 boroughs to come out here and get everything under control. Took hours to do that. In total, 2 firefighters were hurt, 1 civilian hospitalized. Injuries are not considered major, though. At this point, the cause of the fire is still under investigation. Scope of the damage still needs to be determined. It's still unclear at this point if the park is actually going to open today, but it certainly does show how dry the ground is right now. We are live here just outside of Great Kills Park. I'm Glenn Zimmerman. Back to you guys in the studio.
Glenn, thank you. Now to Tracy Strahan outside the controversial Lower Manhattan Mosque site, which could be on the move. Tracy.
Well, believe it or not, one of the financial backers behind the Cordoba House project said he'd be willing to sell it for the right price. But the imam says moving the mosque could actually pose a security risk. Speaking on CNN's Larry King Live last night, Faisal Abdul Rauf said Muslims may interpret moving Cordoba House as a sign that Islam is actually under attack. He also said that had he foreseen the controversy attached to this issue, he may have never proposed it. One of his investors who provided most of the funding for the project says he still supports it, yet would be willing to sell it for between $18 and $20 million. We're live in Lower Manhattan this morning. Tracy Strahan, Today in New York.
All right, Tracy, thank you. And a Brooklyn landlord's in police custody for the murder of a tenant. 55-year-old Patricia Wilson was found shot yesterday morning on Linwood Street. Jacqueline Wesley Rosa was arrested several hours later. According to the Daily News, the 2 women had previous confrontations.
The ACLU of New Jersey is expected to file a petition today calling for a federal investigation into the Newark Police Department. The group cites hundreds of claims of misconduct. City spokesperson calls that petition frivolous.
And just one day after starting class, the city schools are out for the Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah. Many students in the suburbs are also off until Monday.
In sports, Roger Federer and Caroline Wozniacki both advanced at the U.S. Open. And you better have your fantasy football teams in place because tonight the NFL season kicks off right here on 4 New York. It's the Super Bowl champs, the New Orleans Saints, hosting the Vikings. Pre-game will feature a live concert by Taylor Swift and Dave Matthews. Maybe Chris will be watching that.
I might actually stay up now.
Kickoff 8:30.
There you go.
I may cheat a little sleep tonight, I think, for that. But football season, football weather, that's what it feels like out there this morning. Temperatures are in the 50s and low 60s, only getting back to the low 70s this afternoon with a brisk wind throughout the day. So, again, please be careful. Things are still very dry. You can start a fire in a hurry with these dry conditions and the wind gusts of, again, 20 to 30 miles an hour at times. Tonight, back to the 50s in the city, 40 suburbs, low 70s with sunshine tomorrow. Good part of the weekend is Saturday, 77. Giants home opener is Sunday. There could be some rain around, on and off showers, about 74. And then the Jets home opener is Monday night. That looks better, actually. Temperatures upper 70s for Monday, back to a cool down by the middle of next week and more autumn-like weather. That's the overall pattern I think we're falling into. Summer's pretty much said, I'm done. I'm exhausted.
All right.
Summer's spent.
Thanks, Chris. The Today Show is next.
That's what's happening today in New York.